winners last year. Kelly's Pro Shop, the winner last year in Fort Worth, and the Sazes Club, a winner last year in Minneapolis, and here they are knocking heads in the semifinals of the Denver Regional, the World Team Challenge. Up first, Jay Watts, Kelly's Pro Shop.
Stop it!
And a nice start for the team and for Watts.
And you know what you mentioned there, Bob, is very important. The fact that both teams have won before. They're very experienced teams. They're not afraid to get up there and let it go. So we can expect this to be fairly high scoring, I would think. And the lane condition is conducive to good scores if you make good shots.
Both clubs rolled some nice scores in the Baker round. Ken Sharkowitz, the leadoff man for Sazes, a little light on his first ball. Sharky, they call him.
Well, he's a big man, and he's obviously been very successful with his game in the past. But right now, this is not an easy spare. The 1, 2, 4, and he want to get the ball on the left side of the head pin. Let it run down the line. Got a hook.
Oh, he got it. Came in right at the last minute, and a spare pickup in the first for Sazes.
This, for you folks that may not have watched in the past or may not remember, is a 2-game total pins match, Baker system. And we explained that in the opening. The Baker is each player can help his team twice. Simple as that.
Which puts, according to most of the players, Earl, puts more pressure on each of their shots because they're only able to help their club 2 times per game.
Well, we'll take a look at what happened here. Here's the ball hooking high through the middle of the head pin, and you can see very little. The pins went very low. He didn't get anything off the kickbacks. Got to go cross lane and 7 out. This early in the match, not a bad time to gamble. But later on in the second game, not a good idea. But that particular shot was a good try.
Up second for Sazes, Jace Peterson. 37 years old, 224 qualifying average here this week in Denver.
Well, he likes the shot. That's pretty obvious.
And he likes that one. Jace Peterson right in the pocket.
We're bowling here on lanes 61 and 62 at Celebrity Sports Center, and this is a synthetic lane surface, which means it's not wood. It's a manufactured surface. The oil moves around fairly readily on this surface, and it's heavy oil. Slight crown. Get a look at the left-hander. Set it down real early. Ball kind of got away from him there. The lane condition, as I mentioned, it's the kind of a condition if you make good shots, it's firm, you get the ball out in front of you, it'll hold the line and go to the pocket. If you set it down early, watch this, the ball's on the lane very quickly, it hooks early and goes Brooklyn.
Pearson is known by his teammates as a great spare shooter, perhaps the best on the club, and he has a tough one here, and he gets it.
Boy, I thought that was going to be the kiss of death, Bob.
It usually is.
That's right. Never misses a spare. Plunk.
Niall Konachek for Sazes. Niall, the new member on the club, replacing Joe Olivo, who's out with a knee injury.
Well, Niall's going to help him. I don't think he's going to hurt him a bit. He's a good replacement. He's a very good player. He's Midwest Bowler of the Year 3 years back. In fact, he won the American Dream Classic back a couple of years ago. That one of the big amateur tournaments in the country. Everybody's a little tentative right now, but you watch him, he kind of sticks at the foul line. You can see he comes up with the shot, a little bit of a tug there through the middle of the head pin, leaving only the baby split, the 310. The idea here is to fit the ball between the 2 pins. Let the ball hit the 3 pin and bounce into the 10, and he missed the key pin, the 3 pin. Little nerves here, I think, more than anything else. So that shows you that even the experienced teams can get a little nervous, and you know this guy is.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any nerves with Rich Aboud. He's been around, a very, very talented, successful bowler, and in the 4-hole for the Kelly's Pro Shop Club.
And this kind of a bad break, but a typical ball reaction on synthetic lanes with a very, very dry back end. The last 25 feet of the lane has no oil at all. The ball he is using grips the lane very hard and wants to hook very hard in the back end, and they just cut through, leaving the 4-7-9. They try to get the 4 to slide into the 9. The ball will take out the 7. Got a hook. Not enough.
And another open for Kelly's. 2 opens in a row now in the 3rd and 4th frames.
Well, we're getting off to a fast start, albeit a very poor fast start.
After, I believe, we predicted high scores.
Yeah, and here's a guy that if anybody's going to hit the pocket for this team, this is the guy that can do it. Joe Natoli, former Wisconsin Bowler of the Year. Very accurate player, keeps the ball in play, as you see right there.
And the 7 won't go. Bounced around a little bit, stood up.
And this is a good shot by Joe. It's an opening shot in the match, and the ball, here's a look at his style. He's really a stylist. Good balance at the foul line, the shoulders over the knee where they belong. The ball didn't hit quite as well as he wanted. The 5 slid in front of the 7. Spares have been tough this week because the back ends are hooking. You have to be careful. Don't get careless on your spares.
And Natoli picks the 7. Saz's Barbecue Sauce, a team loaded with former Wisconsin Bowlers of the Year, as Saz's leads by 18 after 4 frames. But Natoli, Peterson, and Sharkey, all 3 former Wisconsin Bowlers of the Year. The anchor man for Kelly's, Tom Kelly Jr., the captain. Very nice. Kelly's first shot, and there's 10 in.
You know, we talked earlier with the team before we went on the air, and they had made a lineup change at the last minute. And the lineup change was to put Tom Kelly Jr. at anchor. And the reason was he was getting the best ball reaction in practice. Now look at this ball reaction. Clear out near the channel, all the way back, 10 in the pit. Tremendous power on that ball.
Their original lineup had Kelly leading off and booed as the anchor man, but they switched it right before telecast. Brian Brazeau, the anchor man for Saz's, answers Kelly's strike with a strike of his own. We're through 5 in our first game of the semifinal match, and Saz's of Milwaukee leads by 18. Stay with us. The Brunswick World Team Bowling Challenge is being brought to you by Brunswick. Bowling is sold on Brunswick worldwide. By Lynn Shoes. For the performance approach, it's American-made Lynn Shoes, the choice of bowlers worldwide. By the Reno Bowling Stadium, offering the $25,000 Perfect Game Challenge. By the ABC MasterCard. Get a grip on your finances with the ABC MasterCard. And by the American Bowling Congress. Pride and service to bowlers since 1895. Make sure your league is ABC sanctioned. Bob Dolan and Earl Anthony back at the Denver Regional of the World Team Challenge Series, Celebrity Sports Center. 6th frame for Kelly's Pro Shop. This is Jay Watts, who struck on his first ball. Brooklyn, and they got a break when the 10 fell. Saz's up by 18 at the moment.
Well, here's what's happening. The lanes are changing a little bit. The players practiced extensively before we went on the air, and they've moved that oil around. You see that ball grip the lane very sharp, break in the back, and here's his reaction. He can't quite believe it. The lanes will change in the team event. Before you get a chance to get back up there and bowl again, they could have changed drastically.
Watts converts the spare. Watts, before the match, Earl told me that he thinks he's struggling now, that his arm swing is a little bit out of whack, but he's a strike and a spare in his first 2 balls for his club. Sharkey back up now for Saz's. A spare on her first delivery in the first frame. And a nice adjustment, and Sharkey gets the strike.
Well, all these players, even though some of them aren't professionals, have a lot of experience, so they're going to make good moves on the lanes. And if they're paying attention to not only their own players, but their opponents, they'll make the good adjustments. Here's a look at Sharkey's style. You can see he's a big man, very strong. He pulls the ball through almost like a baseball player, throwing the double play from first to second.
And Doug Laird for Kelly's Pro Shop in the number 2 hole answers that strike with a strike of his own. Remember, Laird in his first ball with an open frame, and now a strike for Laird. This is Jace Peterson working on a strike. 7th frame for Saz's. It's 2 for 2 for Peterson.
Well, as they go through the lineup the second time, Bob, everybody's getting loose now, and they're starting to feel like they can make better shots, and they're a little more used to the television camera being on.
John Pearson, 8th frame for Kelly's.
Kelly's 2 left-handers on their team.
And they help each other, they tell me, Earl. Kelly Jr. and Pearson are able to help each other's games because they're lefties. And the 10 pin still standing.
A little bit of a bad break there. The ball came into the pocket just about where he wanted it to. Got the 7 pin out. So watch the 5 pin go in front of the 10 here. You'll see it. The 5 pin will go in front of the 10 pin. Not quite enough to get it. Easy spare, but all spares basically are tough when you've got 25 feet of dry back end. The ball's going to break very sharply on the back.
Takes his time. Very nice. Pearson converts the spare in the 8th for Kelly's. And that brings